I remember days they used to laugh at me. Used to show them on my records talking casually. Used to say it was a passion on my path to be. Then they told me that I couldn't, so I had to be. Tell me what they really think about it now. Used to hate it, but I guarantee they're proud. Had to do it just to show them that I could, yeah. Now I finally think I took it where I should, yeah. Had a jokes on you and now you're on and laughing. I did a whole lot of winning. Look, it came from a passion. I see a whole lot of no ones I could see now in public. And that may think a lot of things, man. At least think something, now you the judge. And now tell me where you ended up, yeah. Look, I bet it was a simple job, yeah. Look, I went and took a different route, yeah. Look, that's why my life is different now. Back in my feelings, look, when I wasn't so gifted and I was learning to do this, and all I heard were the critics, and I don't blame you for that shit. Look, I was way out the basis, but I just needed some talent so I could witness the greatness. Oh yeah, you ain't ever think this, no, no, no. Stop me while I started, homie, whoa, whoa, whoa. Now this shit settled, it's go better and better, but I'll always remember, yeah, yeah.
We're here in Chicago at the Chicago Podcast Studio. Shout out to the fellas here. Brownie, and what's your name, bud? Colton. Brownie and Colton over here. If you're in Chicago and you want to shoot podcasts or shoot content, come check them out. I'm sure it's online. What is it? Chicago Podcast Studio. Check them out. We're having a great experience here. This is just one of the sets. And so anyway, look, I put an Instagram story out in Chicago, and I think I put the hashtag or location Chicago. And you get more views in that location if you do that, for anybody that's wondering. And a bunch of people started DMing me. I don't know if it was coordinated. I don't care, because I got to meet this guy, Eric Boss. And a lot of people were shouting him out. And I was like, all right, let me check this guy out. We had a call, and we hit it off. And I'm like, all right, dude, yeah, you got to come in, and we got to get you some exposure, and I want to get to know you better. And then I got to come down to the event Friday night at Gold Coast Social. Is that your main place?
That is my only place right now. I had 4 at one time, 4 a week, but now it's just 1, and it's Fox is Wild.
Yeah, and it's you can go to bars and clubs and different things, but people need to focus when they're doing these things on experience, right? And that's what you do. You throw an experience, bro. And
that's really it. I mean, I try to be as interactive as possible.
Yeah,
try to touch every single guest in the room, so it's definitely, you don't get that anywhere else.
No.
In one word, how would you describe Chicago nightlife?
That's tough. Tough.
Tough, yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I don't have one word, because it's evolved, so it's changed so much, and what I do is totally different than what other people are doing. So it's really hard. And like I said, I focus on myself so much where I don't even really know what's going on now outside of me. I don't, because I focus on my party, my goals, my purpose, everything.
And I guess, we are on that one. So what do you do differently?
Well, when you saw that one, I mean, I think you actually saw it,
I had to go there. By the way, I don't go to clubs. I just don't
you
anymore.
You should have seen this one after the club the next day. He's like, Kinz.
I used to go a lot. No, I used to go a lot. But I just, for me, it's what's the point anymore? Unless I'm with a bunch of people together. And I'm in town in Chicago, and I had one buddy with me. But it's just, for me, it's not the thing. But that was the thing. It was awesome. The scenery, the experience, the sensory.
Yes, I focus on that a lot.
Let's talk about sensory.
I mean, it comes down to everything. Well, first of all, that one, I mean, it's my passion. It's what I live, eat, breathe. It's what I love to do. And the fact that I get to do it and impact so many people and feel amazing at the same time and get paid good money for it, I'm living the dream,
Sure.
And I get to do it every week. And it's what's great is that now I took a little bit of time. I mean, backed off where it's only 1 party a week. I had 4, and I'm doing other things to focus on my bigger goals. I want to take care of my mother. I want to be financially free for both of us. So you can only do that. You can't do that with nightlife parties.
Sure. Okay.
But as far as the sensory stuff, I mean, really every little aspect, there's the fog, there's the lights, there's, I'm constantly, how I gave you guys those gifts. I gift during the middle of the party.
He did bring very nice, fun party gifts.
I don't know, but you had confetti, you had foxes running around. I'm not going to get into that.
Well, I mean, God, there's so many. And this party now has evolved. Now there's literally so much stuff going on. I mean, if I could, I'd have something going on every single minute of the party that's distracting you, because when you're distracted, you don't leave. you know, and you're having a great, and it's a great time. I mean, if you love hip hop, if you love sparklers, if you love, you know, interactive, you know, fun, you're not going to have anywhere else that's going to compare.
It was amazing. Like,
and as far as the sparklers, I know, and I get that my party's not for everyone, right? Because there's some people that like the dark house music and there's no lights in there, you know. But there's no doubt that when I'm lighting sparklers for people, I see them having the time of their lives, screaming. They're not thinking about any problems they have. They're in the moment right then and there.
How you make people feel.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why, I mean, that's why I'm at where I'm at, because I continue to do that. And I'm continuing to evolve and just get better every day.
Yeah, well, my problem with going to places like that is like, I'm really like attractive, and so when I go into these places, like all the
He's very modest. Too.
all the women want to be
hard.
around me, and it's like I can't do that because I'm married and I love my wife, and I'm never gonna do anything.
There's a lot of temptation.
So what's the point? You know? No, but I'm just kidding, guys. I mean, I feel good about myself, but that's why I don't do it. But I love it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. Like I love that environment, and that's what it can pull you in. So let's talk about your story, because I want to hear about that, because there is some things like dark roads you can go down.
Yeah,
right?
no, 100%. That's where my mental health journey started. It's honestly from being in nightlife and having late night, early morning conversations with all people, right? Because with nightlife, you get all ends of the spectrum. You could have doctors, you could have janitors that are just out partying, having a good time. Yep. And then you end up at someone's kitchen at 6 a.m. and you're having real deep conversation.
And there's weed people. Yeah. Then there's cocaine people. Yeah. Then there's ecstasy people. And there's alcohol people. And then there's some people that don't do any of it and they come and hang out. So you have all different types of people in that aspect as well. Right?
Yeah. And then this is just arbitrary, but I mean, more than half, I think, are escapism, right? They're doing it not because they're happy and they have goals. It's because they're not happy and they're trying to cope with something, or they're trying to just, you know.
Huge point, man.
And honestly, I mean, this is not everyone, right? There's some people, like I feel like myself has always been. I've never had issues where it was recreation. It was never therapy. I did it because I love to do it. And if I got into a fight with, you know, if I was having a bad time in life, I didn't resort to that. I resorted to the gym.
Yeah.
You know, that's where I found my solace, or even like a partner I was with at that time. But, you know, for me, it's just, I found so many people unhappy, and then I would find myself this instinctively just helping people because I was coming from a good place. I'm happy. These are some of the things I do that make me happy. I'm happy all the time because I don't do anything that makes me unhappy. I only do things that make me happy. If I'm not in a good relationship now, I get out. If someone's affecting me negatively, I don't deal with them. I don't talk to them. You know, like I only do things that make me happy.
When did you get to this place? Because what a
it's taken me a while.
Place to be.
It's taken me a while, and it's really just been a consequence of time. Because usually, something tragic or something happens where you have this epiphany, or you get better. You
wake up, and you
for
make
me,
the
it's
change.
just been really. I've just been watching a ton of podcasts. I've been just absorbing everything. I've been helping people, and through helping people, you learn more, you grow more. Having conversations like this, you grow each one. And so when you're doing it with all these people, different types of people, and you know, after a night of partying, you know, you start to see, you know, a lot of similarities. And then I started to see a lot of similarities in the therapizing I was doing, you know, helping people. Yeah. And I'm just like, I want to keep on doing this. And I just started just growing.
But where's the line, though, where you're facilitating the escapism too? And
that's what, you know, and that's why I tell people, like, I know what I do for a living. I'm serving people alcohol. And that's why my new message is like, I don't tell people that like you need to stop doing everything. I don't think that's life. Yeah. I think we all have vices, and what the kicker is that you have to be able to overcome, you know, and still persevere and still be successful and have some of your vices and have fun. I feel like that's fun. Most of the things that are bad for you are so fun, right? Or you're supposed to not live our lives. And like, no, you should be able to do that when you want, moderately, and have balance, and still be the best that you can outside of that. Every other minute outside of that.
Okay,
you know?
This is incredible to me because boss, do you want to call you Eric or boss?
I actually, for me, I get embarrassed.
Eric,
so it's like,
okay,
Eric is fine.
Eric. But Eric, you are so intelligent. You're so grounded.
Amazing.
And it's just for someone to like, oh, this is the party guy of Chicago. But then I'm hearing you. It's incredible. Like, I mean, it's people don't realize like it's a business and you're well-rounded and I'm actually blown away because people just think that you're gonna be like, whoa.
Yeah,
you know,
no, I appreciate that, and it's usually the norm. That is the norm.
Yeah.
But you know, for me, it's like, God, there's so many reasons. Like I said, it's my passion. You know, you said I'm intelligent. I'm Asian. Most of the Asians are intelligent. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But no, I just really, I love to do. When I love to do something, I go all into it, and I try to learn from everyone. One of the things I say to myself is that like, I'm the best at what I do, but I'm not better than anyone else. I can learn from anyone, and I learn from everyone. I'm constantly trying to pick up what I can from every single person. So you just continue to get better. And now I'm 43 years old, so stack that up 20 years, you know what I mean? So
where did you grow up?
I grew up in Addison. I went to Addison Trail in the burbs.
Of Chicago?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then what did you start doing? Like, did you go to university?
So I went to DeVry University because at the time, a lot of people were coming out of it making pretty good money. And then there was an IT recession where they weren't even hiring anyone. So I found a job as a recruiter, finding jobs for people in IT. And I did very well for almost 9-10 years total. But about 5 or 6 years in, I found nightlife. I started being a promoter. And that grew because whatever I put my mind to, I just
around
go
here
on.
you were doing it.
Yeah, in Chicago, and then I found that of course that was more fun, more exciting, and my job faltered as a recruiter, and then I got fired.
Gotcha.
and I got fired. I'm like, I'm going to go into nightlife full time, and I went off to Vegas. I was in Vegas for a year. So I got.
Where did you work in Vegas?
So with the best part, I'm gonna get cotton mouth. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I just got back from Vegas because it's so interesting because promoters are everywhere, obviously in Vegas.
Yes, they're a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
And so my time in Vegas was amazing. I literally found that I got thrown into the mecca of nightlife. This was my first kind of like independent. I was an independent host.
Yeah.
So
like sink or swim in Vegas. Right?
Yeah, and we had contracts with every club and every strip club. So I had the luxury of being able to offer that to anyone that came from Chicago. So you want to go to Hakkasan, you go to Omnia, you want to go to, And so I'm actually going to do a podcast about just Vegas because my whole year in Vegas, you could write a book on it.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's the stuff that I seen, the money that was made, and this is stuff that the celebrities I was, hosting. It's like you don't get that, and you don't see that anywhere.
Yeah.
How did you contact people, or was it out on the street or digitally?
So no, I was blessed because I was already promoting here in Chicago, and then when I moved out there, everyone knew that I was the guy to contact out there.
Gotcha. That's
so
awesome,
at that time, this is 2014. There was only 2 people, really big, people, from myself and someone else from Chicago, that people would call that they trusted. So I would have, no joke, anywhere between 15 to 25 different groups a weekend. And then with each group, you have multiple clubs and strip clubs that you want to go to a night. So each night, a typical night, I'd be shooting down to SLS, and then I'd shoot down to Encore, and then I'd shoot down to Marquee, and it was doing for different things. Walk into a club, giving them drugs, getting, I mean, honestly, that was the life.
Yeah.
And so it was amazing, but it was dangerous as fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure you had some.
Yeah.
Have you had some life-threatening?
I never had,
instances?
thank God. I mean, besides the fact that there's an accident every 5 minutes on the strip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In that area of it, no one knows how to drive out there, and then they're under the influence. But no, I never had any issues, and I kind of credit a lot of the stuff that no bad things really happened to me, and it's because I do so good. I put so much good energy out there.
So it's the karma. You're like, I put that up.
I swear. And the worst thing that happens to me, it's something bad that, when people are like, oh, it's so bad, it's really not that bad at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If it doesn't matter in 5 minutes, it shouldn't matter for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And I don't let any outside forces that I can't control affect me negatively.
That's great.
And then did you find yourself getting caught up in the partying and energy? And all that?
I always did it. I've always partied really hard, and I never had an issue. The next day, I'm up working. I'm at the gym. I'm eating semi-healthy.
Even though you feel like crap in the morning.
Yeah, I found a really good remedy. I used to always just down ice water,
Okay.
and it was a hangover remedy for me. So I never. And actually, one of the jokes I used to always say is that if I woke up with a hangover, it's because I didn't do enough cocaine.
Okay.
That's a soundbite from this, yeah.
I think I had 2 or 3 drinks Friday night at the place, and I felt like crap the next day.
Yeah.
He was struggling. He's like,
I don't
went out last
understand,
night with.
Well, especially when you don't do it anymore. Yeah.
I don't do it.
I don't drink it all anymore, really. And so, if out of the last 2 years, I probably drank no more than 10 times.
Okay.
And so I get it because I drink. I was with friends this weekend, and one shot, they got a grip video of me passed out on the couch.
Yeah.
I fell asleep.
So did the people from Chicago and the celebrities and all that invite you to party with them?
Yeah.
Is that how it worked?
Yeah. I mean, is this out here or?
No, well, when you were in Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so a couple of people I hosted. Wow, I can't even think of them right off the top of my head right now. But a couple of ball players, and I got called by J. Cole's group to bring him weed.
Yeah.
You know J. Cole?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like just random stuff
He's
like
one of my
that.
favorites.
Yeah. So like just random stuff. I hope I don't get in trouble for that. But there's some other names too that like, I won't even say, but there's for other stuff. But yeah, it was definitely crazy. You know,
And then
it
you
was
would
fun.
hang with them though. They would invite you to hang with them.
Yeah,
sometimes, so,
yeah. Actually, I had a funny story. I'll just make it quick. But
Yeah, no,
I had
this
a
is
pro baseball player, MLB player for a Chicago team. He was on ecstasy, and he couldn't find his something, and he dumped out his whole travel bag into his sink. He's rummaging through it. And then we had to go downstairs, and he's talking to the hotel lobby to the people, and he's literally, you could tell he was
rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just stories like that. I've had so many like that. So yeah, it was a fun time. But I was only there for a year. I only came back. I don't know if we talked about this, but I found out my father got sick when I was out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what brought you back.
Yeah.
Would you come back if you that didn't happen?
No. I was on a trajectory like that, you know. And the longer you're there, the more people you meet, the more networking, you know, more money you
Sucks
make.
you in.
Yeah. And so I just, when I found out, I'm just like, I'm indebted to them. I have to go back, and and it just started this string of events, and now it's like I'm exactly where I want to be.
So we're going to get to the events, but like, how did you make money when you're there? How do they pay you? How does that work?
Wow. So when I first got there, just one guy, just the Vegas legend, he's like, I get paid 27 different ways. I get paid by this, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, so I went from this guy. I mean, you could get paid by taking groups to the strip club. Mm-hmm. So like they would literally charge, they would pay promoters $33 a head for like an entry level. You would bring a group to a strip club. Yep. The guys wouldn't have to. They had to come in their limo, and they wouldn't have to pay entry, and then I would get paid. So what I would do is I'd be like, I'm gonna take you guys on a strip club tour. Take you on this one, this one, this one. 10 guys, 33 times 10. You know what I mean? For three places, that's 1,000 just on one group.
Yeah.
I'm doing 10, 15 groups. Like, so I mean, there was times where I'd walk out with $10,000, $15,000 in my up a night, but then I would dump 10,000 in the casino.
I
I'm
gonna jump on a stereotypes. Asians.
No,
like to gamble.
it's not a stereotype. But it's true. It's true. We smoke and we gamble.
Yeah.
But
are you Vietnamese?
Well, I'm actually Filipino, Japanese, and Chinese.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I have a joke that I used to say at afters. I used to say that because I would get that joke I get that question all the time. I'm like, I'm German, Irish, and Italian, and I had surgery to get my eyes like this. But of course, it's not. Some people are like, "Are you serious?" Like,
well, the funny thing is, Asians think that like that's the normal to them.
Yeah.
And they have round eye. You ever heard of round eye?
I call people round eye as a joke
because we think that we're normal. Right?
Yeah.
And Asians are different.
Yeah.
But then Asians think that we're different and they're normal. So it's like, I never thought about that.
I will
before,
say
like,
all my Asian friends love to gamble. That's true. That's true. I will say that is very true. Asian persuasion,
I used to always say too, like when someone would say like, can you see that? I'm like, you round eyes could see. I'm like, I gotta look down to look down. I gotta look up to look
eyes.
up.
That's
I can see my sides perfectly. I joke about myself more than anything else. So
I love this.
You can't say anything about me.
Did you ever have problems with clubs not paying you when they owed you?
No, they were all. I mean, they're legit businesses out there. You know what I mean? Like the places I was working for. I mean, but now it's different. They used to before. There's like there's a lot of rules for independent promoters and stuff like that. Yeah. But no, I would pick up checks from them, and it was really nice. It was definitely a beautiful thing. And some of the time, I think what I made the most money on is that a group of 8 people, 4 guys, 4 girls. They'd be like, we want to go to Hakkasan. We don't want to wait in line. Yep. I had a door guy at the front of every place. I hit him up. I tell him I have 4 guys, 4 girls. How much? And I would tell them a bigger price.
Of course.
And then and that was really crazy. The relationship I had with him because he was he didn't want to get in trouble. Because it wasn't legal what we were doing. Right. So we would go to the bathroom and we would hand each other money under the stall.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's insane.
I mean, this stuff happens all the time.
Yeah,
man.
it was normal.
But honestly, I hate to say this, but if you're by the book, you're not going to be able to compete in this world.
Yeah, 100%.
So there's, and I'm sure there's a line somewhere that you shouldn't cross, but at the end of the day, listen, man, billionaires, they're not following our own government.
Exactly.
Big pharma, they're not
Yeah.
following the rules.
Yeah.
That's
You know what I
true.
mean? So we're expected to.
Did you ever
You know?
get sick of like Eric at any time like the nightlife? Like, are you ever? Because I always okay. This is something I think about. Like the girls that like like the cocktail girls that put their boobs up to here, or like the stripper. It's like if you just don't feel like it that night and you got to turn it on. Like, do you ever just get sick of it? Did you ever, like,
and that's a classic question because everyone else does. But when I feel when you're born to do something, I don't ever get
You
that.
don't ever get sick of it.
I don't.
Is it hard
haven't.
to maintain like a
I've been
healthy
doing it now.
relationship?
100%.
Yeah.
And that's why, for me, I just know what's conducive to a healthy relationship. And if I want to actually settle down and be in one,
Yeah.
it's not going to be while I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
This is what there's a time for that, and there's a time for this. And I mean, and I actually had my last girl I was dating. She was actually really cool with it. It takes an independent, secure girl, to be okay with it. But it's just like I don't want that right now.
Yeah.
And so. But yeah, you would think that maybe I would get tired, and no, I just don't. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm constantly trying to get better at it.
All the people,
Yeah.
by the way, all the people at Go Co Social, like you could tell that they loved you. No, and I mean that matters.
I'm nice.
in any
I'm nice
business.
to everyone.
Like,
It's hard. It's really. I don't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah.
it's really hard to hate someone that's just constantly nice to you. I'm nice
Yeah.
to everyone.
yeah, no,
you
but
know?
that's important in business, right?
Yeah.
Like if you can have your employees not like having resentment towards you.
Yeah.
I've been through it all. Like I've had employees hate me. I could tell.
Yeah.
And then
Usually when they hate you, it's from envy or it's they hate
and I had to work on
themselves.
myself too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I wasn't the best leader
Yeah.
at the time when I
I was like, I
experienced
can't
that.
picture anyone hating you.
No, but when I wasn't working on myself,
Yeah.
and it was all about business, pushing, and I didn't take into consideration that the employees, my team members, had families. They had their goals and visions,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I started to align my goals and visions for the company with theirs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then it changed everything because now I'm on their team
Shift.
Yeah.
instead of them working for me.
Your whole life changes when you have empathy, when you could actually put yourself in another person's shoes
Yep.
and see how they might perceive you, how they, because a lot of times people are so inside their own heads, they don't even realize how they're perceived by others.
Yeah.
But once you have that ability, now you could use that strategically.
Yep.
You could use that in all way, shape, or form, but I feel like for me, I try to treat everyone, whether you're the CEO or if you're a janitor, same. And then so many people, those guys that are lower in the totem pole, they will vocally say like, man, I love that you treat me like this because no one else does.
And then they promote
yeah.
to other people that come work for you, so you don't have to recruit as hard.
Yeah.
Because they promote how great of an environment it is to work in.
It's all relationship.
Yeah.
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 Now, I mean, it's kind of known like the nightlife does attract some seedy characters. How do you weed out? I mean, people you can't trust, people that are up to no good, people that are crooked. You know what I mean?
I've been able to separate. I think a lot of problem with a lot of people in nightlife is that they take everything so personally into heart, and they get they feel taken advantage of, or it's like. It's the game, it's the job. And I feel like if you separate that, these people aren't my real friends.
Mm-hmm.
There's acquaintances, there's associates, and there's work colleagues, and then there's friends. I was in Tampa with my friends, family. But it's work. And it's at the end of the day, they're using me at the same time. We're using I'm using them too. We're using
Mutually
each other.
beneficial
Transaction.
Yeah, so but the only difference is mine comes with the benefit where I'm always going to be cool to your face. I'm always going to be trying to help you. I'm always trying to, make sure everyone has the best experience possible.
Yeah, and then there's transactional relationships, and there's transformational relationships.
Yes.
And so transactional will end very quickly, but when you get to the transformational relationship with people that you do things for, you invite them in, you give them special attention and all that, then it has a chance to become a friendship.
For sure. Yeah. It depends on how, just the level of respect, what I mean? How you guys treat each other. Because for me, it's like, I feel so bad sometimes because my interactions are so transient.
Yeah.
You see, I'm running around the room nonstop. And I'll check in with you for a minute,
Yep.
But sometimes, like I said, if a person is envious, if they don't love themselves, no matter how nice I am to them, they hate me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No, it is-
And I don't hate you. I mean, I don't even think about you. You know what
But
I mean?
how about how they treat your team too?
Yeah.
Like you bring them in, you give them special attention, and then they treat your girls like shit. And
Yeah, yeah, and honestly, and those girls, like I introduced you to both of them, right? They're amazing. Like I wouldn't be where I'm at without them. So I try to, try to bring them up. I try to, introduce them to everyone and try to make them part of it too. Because a lot of times I'm getting all of the, kind of the limelight from it, you know, all the. But it's really more so them. That party's nothing without them.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you handle situations like putting out fires? Because I can imagine in your line of work, like, tell us about like an oh shit moment where like Eric has to snap to and like.
I'm really good at that. I mean, sometimes I
Under
fly off the
pressure.
handle too much, but sometimes there's fights in my parties.
Yeah, what do you do?
And I do not stand for that. I mean, I get overly aggressive, overly crazy. I see black, you know.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just blessed because how long I've been in the industry, how I treat people, I'm respected a lot. So when I put my foot down, or if I say something, or if I'm yelling, like they know I'm serious. They're like, you know, they're like, I tell them like, dude, do not do this at my party. I will not do this at your house. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, you know. And so I diffuse things very, very quickly.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you a question, but I lost track.
I hate when it happens.
It was on. That was on that topic though. Like, shit, I don't even remember.
Putting out fires when things get a little nuts.
Yeah.
What's one of the
It'll come back
best?
to
What
me.
like if someone asked you like, oh, take us to like one of the best nights of your life? What would you say that you can
Man, it's really hard because
say?
I had so many best nights. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't understand. Like for me, it's just all about filling the room. And once you fill the room, you see my theatrics, the experientials. It creates this fucking amazing thing that you can't replicate.
I came early on purpose, you know.
I didn't know that. I
because
felt
I know
bad
the
about
party-
it.
That is
but
not
the
what
party
he
doesn't
said.
get started right
You know
away.
what
Like
he
nobody shows up like right when it opens.
Yeah.
But I did because I wanted to see the transformation.
Yeah, and
I study these things.
I heard you say talking about human behavior. I do
Yeah.
too, and that's why I felt bad. Like when you got there, because for me, I've gotten to this place where now I've had so many successful parties from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Where I set this bar where I'm like, it's like 10:15 and it's not busy. I'm fucking like mad about it.
But
and other
and I
people
kept
are like,
telling
they
you,
don't
dude,
even
I'm like,
care.
I
They
said,
don't care. They expect
I said,
it.
don't worry about it. 'Cause I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I knew that it would pop off. Like,
Yeah.
I knew.
And I'm the only one that's psycho about it. I'm just literally, because I've seen it so many places. I just have this, you know, this bar set for myself now that if I don't hit it all the time, every single time, I'm losing, you know? But at the same time, I love it because I don't take it too hard, and it motivates me. It brings me to my best self, you know? Because if I didn't have that fire, if I didn't have that need to always want to be the best, I wouldn't be the best.
Right.
And at Gold Coast Social, when you have a party there and like you have a VIP that comes in, like a big name, right?
Yeah.
That you know, when I walk in, nobody knows. Like they're not gonna. Mob
I was
me,
telling
right?
everyone though.
No, I know, but like,
and I
they're
didn't
not
tell
gonna-
you too. It was coordinated. I told people, I'm like, get on there, and tell them to put me on there. But go ahead, I didn't mean to
No,
cut you
but
off.
like they don't mob me, but like they'll mob like, you know, back in the day, Frank Thomas played for the White Sox, or like I don't know, Jimmy Butler played for the Bulls or something. Like when you get somebody like that, do you obviously have your tables and VIP sections, but do you bring them in the back, or how does that work? Because
It all depends on what they want. Sometimes and it depends on the club too. Because Gold Coast, where we put them in VIP, like we had Kevin Hart, we brought him in through the front, and literally it was just like a straight right over there.
And his section was the front section.
Yeah, in that very front by the window. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's, you know, certain other places, like when I was a manager at the Mid, or like we had to bring him through the back. When we had Kanye at Prism, Kanye wanted to be brought directly to the door. He wanted only someone there, security, to be the only one there to bring him in, bring him straight to the green room, out, and he wouldn't come out until his car was at the door. You know, so some people are definitely a lot
Because he's from
different.
Chicago, yeah.
Yeah,
Did he
yeah.
come in?
He's
Well,
one of the
he went to the green room. Did he come into the club too and hang out like in the public?
Yeah,
part?
he was sitting just because this is when Prism first opened, like 2016. We had at one time we had Drake, Kanye West, and Scottie Pippen.
Oh,
Yeah, and they were all at one table, and of course there was this.
Oh my God, I have to ask you.
security
So
all around.
They cool to you? Or
They
or
were cool.
Like does Ye like?
Yeah, they were cool.
that was cool, Kanye. That was the
But
Kanye we loved.
Kanye was
He's
definitely,
different
you
now.
could, I mean, he was definitely, you could tell. I mean, they live different lives, right? Like they can't even talk to anyone. But they were
who to
cool with
trust.
me. I remember Scottie Pippen. I said to him, you know, I'm a big fan, and he goes, "Have you seen my wife?" And I'm like, no, you know, I can find her. He's like, can you find her? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, so we're looking for her. And I guess he was having problems with her at the time, so that's why he was looking for her.
I have to ask you, this is hilarious. Did Scottie Pippen tip you? Did he tip?
No tipping. No
Tippin'
tipping.
Pippen.
Yeah, no, he's known for that.
I love,
sorry.
I
He's known
love
for that.
Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
I was just in the Bahamas.
He really
and
did it,
And like
though.
MJ likes to gamble, and they were talking about all the gamblers that they have in the Bahamas, the Bahamian people, and they're like, oh no. And then they brought up Scottie Pippen. They're like, no, Tippin' Pippen. I was like,
Yeah.
it's like a thing.
He's known for that.
No
I mean,
shade.
yeah.
That's just the word
No,
on the
it's
street.
really,
We don't
you know,
know.
it's so great too, because I just feel like I'm just really big on giving, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like once I hit that type of, even now I don't even have a lot of money. I'm always giving extra more money.
Let it flow.
But you don't want that to be your rep, right? Because I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Vic Mensa, he came one time and he like tipped over more than what the bill was. That's the type of stuff that I'd be doing, and when you give it back like that, I don't think people understand is that you really do get it, receive it, and I think you just have to do it enough to really feel it.
Abundance mindset. Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter, you
Because
give
what's
it
the
away.
alternative? The alternative is not being like that and being negative and being like, that's why you're not happy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's huge.
That's crazy.
So
stuff.
the tattoos, right?
Yeah.
So I had a client of ours, and she came on my show. She was one of the first guests on that one podcast before Kinz was here. Shout out to Melissa Osario. We were talking about her tattoos, and she started to go into the fact of tattoos show what was going on in your subconscious mind at the time you got the tattoo, and I never thought of it that way.
I'd never heard that.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm tatted up, and then I started thinking about like when I got the tattoos I got and where I was, and I was like, holy shit, it matches. It really does. Have you thought about that before?
No, I never heard about it. I never thought about that. And I'm just trying to think. I mean,
You
everything's
have so many. It's
everything's pretty. There's reasons for everything. I mean, I have my mother here. I have my dog there.
But it's been the most painful because I feel like you have
honestly,
such intricate work.
So
here
I
in
love
your
telling
neck.
people this. Like most, because a lot of people think other things, but for me, it was the back of the skull right here.
Back of the skull.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
and it was literally.
What is that?
It's a scorpion.
Okay.
Yeah, it comes all around,
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was literally this part right here, and I was gripping on a chair, I was biting down on a shirt, and I had to tell myself in my head over and over, this ain't pain, this ain't shit, this ain't pain, this ain't shit. And when I stopped saying that, you feel the pain.
You feel it again.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But what about the subconscious thing? Like, let's pick one out.
I don't know. I don't think anything was. No, I mean they're all
Like, where
stop hate.
Yeah.
I mean all these represent
Yeah, but
something.
like, okay, so stop hate.
Yeah.
Okay. What was going on at the time that you got?
Well, I'd have to know the time I got it too. I don't even know now. I've
Okay.
had so many.
Okay.
I mean, this one's probably the most recent one I've gotten over the last like 5-6 months.
Okay, so
And
what
this is
was
purely-
the
Scorpion's
inspiration?
5-6 months. It's new.
Yeah, maybe about a year.
What's the
Okay.
inspiration for it then? What,
I at the time for me, I just really liked this area. And for me, the Scorpion was I just wanted something powerful, and my mom is a Scorpio.
And it's badass that it comes over you.
Yeah, that's part of the reason
it's
why.
so different. I love
there's
it.
someone else I know that had something that came around their ear, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
want to do something like that. So I
but
just
why
did
a
it.
scorpion?
Like I said, it's power. It represents power.
There
My
you go.
my
Okay.
mom's a Scorpio. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's inspiration.
Are you done, or is there more in store?
I'm running out of space, but I'm
Yeah.
definitely I'm working on my leg right now. I want to do both legs. So,
Yeah, they say it's addictive. I'm
Yeah,
like I'm
it is.
a unicorn these days. I don't have any tattoos, but they say like once you get going, it's like very
Yeah, it
addictive.
is.
That's-
I like pain. I heard you talk about earlier, like about pain and struggle. Now, like the harder, the more painful it is,
There's
the better it
therapy in
is.
it, man.
I know. I
you would
know.
love women's beauty treatments. They're
I know
really
I'm gonna
painful.
get stronger.
Tattoos.
Yeah.
There's I mean, I know that back of the neck was very like painful and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that, but like anywhere you feel it, and there's something with that vibration of like there's pain there, but there's also kind of a pleasure that comes. I don't know how to.
Well, no
describe
matter
it. It's like-
what, you build mental fortitude.
Yeah.
You have to be
there's
able to take that.
But you also there's a cool feeling when it. Besides the pain, there's like a euphoric feeling that comes from
Yeah. After a while, I don't like it though. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
when
I
is
was
this
like, I never got
over?
that.
Yeah, and then so I have this one on this arm here where it was a Michelangelo painting from the Sistine Chapel, and all the people were doing bad things, but they were looking up because God was up here.
Ah.
And when I was going through this is I don't think of it this way, but now, but like when I was going through that, they're all looking up the way it's on my arm. They're looking up at me, and I wanted to be a speaker and start podcasting, and I
that's
wanted
dope.
attention. So that subconscious thing that Melissa was talking about,
Yeah.
I was like, holy cow, like I never thought of it that way before. And so that's why I asked that question.
And you had a euphoric moment. I was thinking
Well,
about
yeah,
there's and the
100%.
women in the back know that there's alt therapy. There's this like laser, and it feels like someone is putting out a cigarette on your skin, and it's a laser, and it's tiny, and it's beautiful. But there was no euphoric moment. It was like, when is this over? I'm
Well, what
going to
about
pee my
this when
pants.
tattoo or laser treatment or whatever, and women are doing it, and it's a guy doing it down there, like. did
Wait,
you-
what?
Like
Okay,
laser,
what?
No. Women get tattoos down in private areas,
okay.
right? And or laser treatment
Yeah.
for hair
Yeah.
removal, or what do they call it? Hair stopping.
Yeah.
Right.
You
And
can
so
do-
like you see sometimes, and there's a guy like right down there, and it's like I wonder what's like. I don't know. Just
You don't have any
You
tats,
went
right?
off on a tangent.
You don't-
No, I don't have any tattoos.
No smoke,
And-
no tats. That's great.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not. And now I feel like I can't do it because I want to be different. Because now it's like unique. Because
Yeah, no, it's nice.
And I
It's
love.
hard
I
to
think,
find.
Yeah, I think it's really cool though. But now I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird.
yeah. And so now you're in Chicago. How long you been back?
Oh, I was only there for a year.
No, but how long you been back?
I mean, Chicago. I came back in 2015.
Okay, so you've been here 10 years
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
And so when you have a club thing going on, like right now you have one going on, do you watch the graph to see the numbers, and then does it go up and down, or is it on a chart? Like,
I definitely I look more in terms of this bodies and then revenue, of course. But as far as like, what do you mean? Like,
well, so like if it starts to go down, your graph starts to go down, whether it's bodies or revenue.
mm-hmm.
Do you start like thinking in your head, like, I got to create something new. I got to create something exciting. I got to, like, does that how your mind works?
For me, I just keep on trying to level up the experience.
Yeah.
I really do. I don't even look at that too much because, for me, I feel like it's always been on a good steady trajectory. And all my moves, pretty much, except for ones that were out of my control, were always to a better situation, to a better club, more money.
But at the time, it doesn't feel like that, right? You're like in adversity, you're like, oh man. And sometimes it can feel permanent. Yeah. Like when you're in the midst of adversity, there's very little, if any, light at the end of the tunnel. Mm-hmm. So I always tell myself when I wake up in the morning when I'm going through that, keep going, dude. Just keep going. If you keep going, you're going to. So then you always see that. Mm-hmm. But how can you top what you do now, though, bro? Like,
I know
think about
really...
this, like that experience when you go in there with the lights, the everything. Like that's a long.
There really isn't. I mean, the only thing that would really, be above that, from the one video I did that I think I showed you, the YouTube video, I've been getting contacted from all over the world. Okay. So I'm in conversation with people in Akron, Ohio, in Berlin. So I see that as the next, progression. But eventually, I actually don't even want to be in the nightclub party atmosphere. I want to more transform to like mushroom therapy and ayahuasca.
Okay.
I did ayahuasca and it was like one of the most
let's talk about it.
Best experiences of my life.
So you go down there. Let's talk about it. Were you nervous going into it?
What's that?
You did it in Florida.
Were you nervous going into it?
No, because I've dealt heavily with mushrooms and acid too. So I looked at it as kind of like another psychedelic.
And then while you were doing it,
I was excited about it.
You took it. Did you get sick or how did
No,
you feel?
I didn't purge. Again, I kind of a testament to that. I feel like is I've been there, done enough times, and I just know what it does to me. Kind of just like just with psychedelics in general.
Is this what Mike Tyson did and like Megan Fox?
A lot of
like
people.
Kelly?
A lot of people.
Okay,
yeah. And I think the big difference with ayahuasca, with all other drugs, it's looked at as medicine. It's used with an intention, for healing. Like I started doing, I did it because, shout out Alexis. I was just there in Florida. My sister, not blood sister, but my sister. She was trying to get over her trauma of her father passing, and so just happened that her aunt was a shaman, where she was administering it, and she did it, and she'd been better, and then when she wanted to do it again, she'd ask me to do it. And I have nothing that's, like I said, traumatic. I mean, I've had people pass and stuff, but I've always been able to persevere and get past. And like, it's life.
Handle it.
Yeah. And so, but I just wanted to. I'm on this level up professionally, journey, and I'm like, I just want to level up professionally, and I did it. And when we did it, I mean, it was probably about I just started getting to normal, like it was normal, like either acid or shrooms. But what I felt also is that we before we did it, we did this and we wrote it down, what we wanted to do, what we wanted to get out of it.
Intention.
Yeah. And so I had that focus the entire time. And there's literally on my phone, there's a picture of the pool bathroom that I have as my screensaver, because I was in there for an hour looking at myself in the mirror, telling myself the things about where I'm going, what I'm doing, the things I'm bringing to the world. I'm taking care of my mother. I'm helping people through mental health. I know my goals. I know what I'm, it's not a matter of what, if, it's when, and I know the more that I work, the faster I'm getting there. And so I was just saying all this stuff in the mirror. I was in there for an hour. I peek out the door and I'm like, there's some magic going on in here, guys.
Nobody's even in there.
Yeah.
What usually when you go through that, there's cognitions that happen.
Yeah.
And you get these realizations, like these aha moments, and then there's a euphoric feeling right after that.
Yeah.
Did you have any specific cognitions?
I just feel like, I mean, I was in there. There was a point where I was flexing, where I just felt so powerful. Like, like I'm in love with myself. It's like nothing else phases me. I'm one track mind right now, and it just further cemented where I'm going and who I am. And ever since then, now this year, I've been, skyrocketed.
But was it instant? I have to ask. Like when you do it, you're doing this process, and how long did it take? Because things like that, you're kind of like, is it working? Is it happening?
It took about a half hour, 45 minutes. Okay. I feel things pretty quickly.
Okay.
But it took about a half hour.
Okay.
So you mentioned like you don't know what's going on in everybody else's life because you're so focused on what you're doing, your goals. But here's the thing: that's okay.
Yeah.
If you have a servant heart, and you have a servant heart, you care about people. You want to provide experience for people and help people. So I don't think there's a problem with being so focused on yourself if you have that servant heart, which you do, man.
Yeah.
Man, I love it.
And there's also, like you said, there's disadvantage too, because I should know about a lot of things that are going on, but I kind of just let in what I feel like I want to let in, you know, and I'm just so focused on everything else that like now, you know, because I was basically in the corporate world, then I went to being, you know, an entrepreneur in nightlife, and now I'm kind of back semi into corporate / entrepreneur. I have my party and now chief marketing officer for Aloha Construction. So now that takes up a lot of my time as well. So I'm just trying to do everything I can, and I love it. It's
and
like
the vodka. You want to mention the vodka?
The vodka. I'm a partner. It's one vodka. It's amazing. It's amazing taste. But I don't drink, so I don't like pushing it as much, you know. But it's definitely amazing. And
you brought us a surprise, so we're excited to try it. Yeah.
Some gifts, but you know, and then like I said, and then eventually I want to do the mental health in a bigger capacity.
Fantastic.
But a lot of me right now is I don't like to push that also because I know what I do for a living. Yeah. You know, if some people are going to say. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what people say, but it's more of a personal thing, right? But I shouldn't be pushing alcohol if I'm going to be pushing, hey, just mental health and healthy living, right? Yeah. Because it just, I mean, I could balance it, right? Yeah, I could balance it. I have moderation, but the normal person usually doesn't. Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
So that's why I just try to, my message honestly is like, we could do those things, but in moderation, because if you're doing all the things that make you happy outside of that, you know, like eating well, exercise, doing what you love for work, loving yourself. These are all things that if you do that,
community.
If you do that 5, 6, 7 days, or 5 days a week, you could go and have fun 2 days a week, and it's not going to be detrimental.
I think there is that difference between having fun and the escapism, because Mikey's, are you not? You don't go to strip clubs, right?
No.
Okay, yeah. And a lot of women have problems.
I have
because we had another guest, and I'm like, and I'm not. I mean, no one wants their man like oogling somebody else, right? And so a lot of times these guys will go to escape because they want to feel like a king, right? We put the intention, but it's like we are causing more havoc at home by then she's going to be more pissed. You're spending more of the money you guys are probably fighting about, and you're idolizing some chick that's like she wants your money. I just feel like it's a bad combination of like a late night.
But how can partners out there make their partner feel like a king or queen? And that's what we should be focused on.
But then it's like, well, do you make me feel like a queen? All these guys are like, I want you to make me feel like a king.
But I'm not saying that's the case, but like you get into a pissing match and a keeping score in that situation. So what I recommend and what's worked for me is everybody should focus on what they can do to make themselves better. Yeah. To the fullest degree, like no limits, right?
I'm just saying women don't run to get like peen in their face.
No.
Like, you know, they don't. I don't know. Most women don't, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
I thought you meant getting peed in.
Yeah.
That's what I.
Or that.
So,
but I'm saying women maybe cope by going shopping.
No, they do.
No,
they do.
Yeah.
They do. It's just not out in the open. Women do. There's women that do that.
Well, there are. So,
and we just don't see it out in the open. But the fact of the matter is that women and men, I'm not singling women out, but everybody, if they focused on building themselves into the best version of themselves, they're going to attract back what they want.
And what Eric said, the empathy, like, okay, let me take outside of me. This is how you're seeing me, and I'm only, and so then maybe
I don't go to strip clubs because it's not conducive for where I want to go. But my wife makes me feel like a king. Yeah, and so like I give her the credit for that, right? But you also have to take the credit for too when you're not making your partner, whether it's a husband or wife or boyfriend, what doesn't matter. If you're not, you got to take responsibility. Yeah. And that's the thing. And so many people are worried about pointing fingers and picking the flaws out of everybody. To me, it's like I just focus on myself, and all of a sudden my wife becomes better.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
So, I hate strip clubs because when I was in Vegas, I would be at one literally 5-6 times a day at different times of the day, 9 in the morning, noon, 4 in the afternoon, you know, all different times. And I would see the same girls over and over, all these different guys, you know, and I would say this. And I would just, but it's someone's daughter, you know, it's someone's, you know, and I just couldn't, I hated it. And then I used to tell the same people all the time too, that the girls, because they would come up to me and ask me if I was, you know, if I wanted to dance. I'm like, no, I'm a host, but do you do any extracurricular? Because I had clients that wanted the girls outside of there for, you know, and so I'm not proud of that, but I did that too. So
and
but that was
one
part
thing
of the game.
When I went to your place on Friday. You introduced me to some of the girls, and I was asking them about their life and business. Yeah. You know what I mean? Instead of like back in the day when I was younger, it was like, oh, they're so beautiful. It made me feel like a king, all that kind of stuff. But now it's like a different. It's all about what's going on in your mind.
100%.
Kinz, you have a segment that we want to do with Eric.
Oh yes, I do. Okay.
We're up against the clock, so I want to make sure we cover this.
Okay, so Mikey and I. Okay, so we were planning shows. We're talking about our fantastic guests. There's somewhere, and we were talking about anyway, how men say, okay, so I was like, is this a dude thing? Like, how much to blah, 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 blah. Like, and you're a businessman.
Men say that to women, in other words. Like, give an example.
No. Like, guys will be like, how much to, no, like, it can be anything.
They
but
want to buy
guys
your
have a price
socks or something.
Point.
Okay.
Yeah, guys have a price point, right? Because they're like, how much to do this? And so that's what I was like, let's do this. This will be fun. Okay, ready? Okay, because you're a businessman, you're a hustler, everyone likes to make money, right? Okay. All right. How much to lick the bottom of C-Roc's sneaker?
Oh my gosh.
So you're asking me?
Like how much would it take?
I wouldn't let you, but
no. But if he was like, here's 10 grand, this is like what we're talking about. Or how much would it take for you to lick the bottom of the sneaker? We're not asking you to do it.
I didn't come up with these.
To lick at the bottom of the sneaker, I mean, it's not even that bad. I don't know. You got 1,000 in your pocket? Give me 1,000.
Are you serious?
I'll brush my teeth right after.
Oh my god.
Come on, man. I'm a man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dudes, it's hilarious to me. Like,
I'm not going to die by licking the bottom of his foot.
I feel like
$1,000.
I do cold plunge. I do. I mean,
that's the answer. $1,000. Okay, next
how much
question.
would it take you to lick his sneaker?
I wouldn't do it. I'm not a man.
You
I'm just saying, like,
grand. It's 50 G's right here. You would not lick his sneaker.
I don't think so. I don't know.
100.
I'm being honest. I just don't feel it. Like, that's one thing. Like,
I'm thinking of questions now. If you asked me, I'd be like, no, there's no price that I would. I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah, but he's being a good sport.
No, I love it, but I just think it's funny because sometimes it's like $20. All right.
$1,000 with the bomb.
Okay, $1,000. All right. Oh, this is practical. How much would it take you to leave Chicago forever?
To leave Chicago forever? Wow,
that's a good one.
Man, I don't think there's a forever.
You couldn't return.
You couldn't return. Is there a price? I mean, would there be a price for that?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I mean, eventually, I think I want to, but yeah, I don't know.
But
the number that comes to my head is always $1 million.
But not coming back ever.
$1 million.
I mean, obviously, you want to move on.
Yeah.
But like not being able to come back and. Ever.
Oh yeah, no, there's no price.
No price.
Yeah, I gotta be able to come back.
How much would it take you to take home the least attractive person at the club? So you can pick.
I think I've done it.
Depends on the season.
Yeah. I mean, I like to, I'm a giver. You know what I mean?
Make them
He's
feel
just
like
throwing
princesses.
that out there, everybody.
You gotta make them all feel like princesses.
I like that.
5K. We'll just talk.
5K. Okay.
I always say we gotta do anything. We just talk.
And you're into hygiene, all this. How much would it take you to not brush your teeth for an entire month?
Oh my God! I just started working on my teeth now, so
Your
can't.
Teeth look great.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I'm not doing that. No,
no
not doing
price.
that. Yeah,
not in millions.
No price.
$1 million bucks?
No, I gotta take care.
Dude, 10 million?
Oh yeah, you're right. $1 million because I can just buy all new teeth.
Yeah,
okay. That's all we got.
Every 6 months I can just buy new teeth.
It's so interesting. That's all we got. Because I was like interested. Because some guys are like $20. I'm like, no, and like you would not like. That's hilarious as sneakers.
Yeah, we all have our lines, right?
Yeah, no, I love it.
Eric Boss, thank you so much for being with us today, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate your hospitality.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yes,
Chicago
I feel like we got so much covered.
Yeah.
I love it. Like I know you so well now.
Where can people go deeper with you?
Eric Boss Chicago on Instagram.
And where did Boss come from?
Honestly, a host I was working with, he was Nino Boss, and we were brothers at the time. I'm like, I'm going to do it too because I wanted to take my name off of because I was a recruiter.
Yeah,
I didn't want them knowing I was a promoter.
Gotcha. All right.
Cool.
Well, Kinz, any final words?
No, you're fantastic. I could talk to you for hours.
Thank you guys.
So
I mean, amazing.
All right. Thanks for watching or listening. However you're consuming this content, it's your boy C-Roc and Kinz here with Eric Boss here in Chicago. Go check him out. And until next time, make sure you subscribe, tell your friends, family, coworkers about us. Shout out to Chicago Podcast Studio for having us, and be that one.